first acorn of autumn has caught this little guy's attention. The moment he's been waiting for has finally arrived. But at the same time, he's also about to face the toughest challenge of his life. This is a 2-month-old chipmunk. During this brief autumn, he must gather at least 100 acorns in order to survive the long winter ahead. The cheek pouches on both sides of his mouth work like expandable pockets, capable of stretching to nearly 3 times the size of his head, turning him into a walking food warehouse. Once the pouches are full, he rushes back to his underground burrow to store all the acorns in one place. Because of his small size, he can't build up fat reserves like a bear does. That's why he must stockpile food. For a young chipmunk, preparing for his very first winter, he's actually doing quite well. But what he never expected was that every move he makes is already being watched by an older, more cunning chipmunk. The moment the young one leaves, this thief chipmunk slips eagerly into his burrow. The older chipmunk is a master opportunist. If there's any chance to get food without effort, he'll never waste his own energy. But for the young chipmunk, losing his food stores would be disastrous. He continues working hard, preparing for winter with full dedication, completely unaware that his pantry is being emptied by a thief. Because the stash is large, the thief needs to run back and forth many times to carry it all to his own burrow. Soon, the young chipmunk's food supply is almost gone. Meanwhile, the little one runs into a new problem. A half-kilogram wild turkey is targeting the exact same acorn. Despite the massive size difference, he refuses to give up his prize. He bites down even harder. In the end, he dodges the turkey with quick agility and makes a narrow escape. With huge creatures competing for food, he has no choice but to head home. When he returns to his burrow, he is stunned by what he sees. All the acorns he worked so hard to gather are nearly gone. Just as he leans in to investigate what happened, the greedy thief suddenly returns. The tension inside the burrow is at its peak. Unexpectedly, the one kicked out of the burrow is the owner himself. The older chipmunk is stronger, with far more fighting experience. The young chipmunk doesn't stand a chance. In the end, he can only flee. With his acorns gone, how will he survive the coming winter? Falling leaves signal the arrival of winter. Once the forest freezes, a chipmunk without food can barely last a week, let alone the whole winter. Daylight grows shorter and shorter. Desperate to gather more acorns, he ventures into unfamiliar territory at night. The forest at night is full of danger, but the lure of acorns makes him throw caution to the wind. There is even more food here, and signs of other chipmunks, hinting that danger is lurking nearby. The weasel is the forest's top predator, and one of the chipmunk's greatest enemies. But the temptation of acorns makes him ignore all danger. The noise he makes stuffing acorns successfully catches the weasel's attention. lost in his world of acorns. He doesn't sense the danger approaching. At the very last moment, he manages to escape back into his burrow. He may have escaped this time, but the food problem remains unsolved. Once winter begins, the freezing cold is a deadly threat to such tiny creatures. The young chipmunk realizes he can't just wait for death if he wants to survive the winter. His only chance is to reclaim his stolen acorns. After searching for a while, he finally finds the thief's burrow. But fate has other ideas. Just as he prepares to sneak in, he bumps straight into the thief. Facing his powerful opponent again, will he choose to fight? Or run away like before? This time, he doesn't run. With nothing left to lose, he fights with all his might. Under his fierce attacks, the tide turns. At last, the young chipmunk wins the battle. Without hesitation, he moves his rightful acorns back home. The thief can only lick his wounds and reap the consequences. Thanks to his efforts, his pantry is restored once again. Soon after, the forest freezes over. The little chipmunk passes the survival test just in time. While large animals struggle against the cold, the chipmunk slips safely underground, spending up to 6 months in his burrow, eating, sleeping, and enjoying his long winter hibernation.